Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United Transfer News Daily, where we talk about all the latest Manchester United transfer news and give it that real fan opinion. We'll be talking about Timo Werner, we'll be talking about Jude Bellingham, which actually, to me today, is probably the more exciting story. And you know how hyped I would be if we signed Bruno Fernandes, but I must admit, you know what? We're sort of in that period now, aren't we, where of uncertainty. I think there is enough behind the Bruno Fernandes story to think that surely United won't screw it up. But then again, we could be sat here next month saying, remember, we screwed it up. So we'll have to wait and see. With regards to Bruno Fernandes, there was a little bit coming out from the UK press yesterday. The Athletic mentioned it, but a lot of it, again, is from the Portuguese media. But I go back to what I said on the Sunday night show last night. Simon Stone spoke about this on BBC 5 Live on Friday night. I believe that Manchester United's interest in Bruno Fernandes is real. Some people are jumping on little theories that he's removed Sporting Lisbon from his Instagram bio, but he's still in a Sporting Lisbon kit. I don't think you read into anything like that. I think you've got to just see how this rides out. But what I would say is, Daily Mirror yesterday, how reliable are they? They're saying United are going to go for a £65 million bid. I don't think it'll be that much. There's not been a lot of talk about the fee, but I think in the summer he was available for 60 million. He signed a new contract, so maybe that bumps it up a bit. But Sporting Lisbon need money. And there has been some talk about players being involved in the deal. I don't actually want there to be any players involved in the deal unless it's a loan deal, because what happens then is, if you've negotiated for Bruno Fernandes and that's all sorted, and you want to send Rojo or Pereira as part of the deal, you've then got to, Sporting Lisbon have then got to negotiate with Rojo and Pereira, and it just elongates it. Getting players in part of the deal will elongate it, because all those players that are moving as part of it, they've got to do their negotiations as well. Money for Bruno Fernandes will make it quicker, and I think we need it to be done quick. I think today's going to be a big key day on Bruno Fernandes. We'll have to just wait and see what happens. I hope it can happen. Obviously, we'll go live if it happens. But I want to talk about some other news, and I'm going to bring in the guy on the left, or it might be the right for you. Jude Bellingham, 16 years of age. He's played over 30 games for Birmingham City this year, which in the Championship is pretty bloody impressive. He's not 17 until this summer. 6 foot, midfielder. Look, I'm not going to pretend I've seen loads of him, but I do live in just outside of Birmingham, so I know some Birmingham City fans. And I was speaking to one of them last week, actually, and they said that in relation to him, he's not going to go straight into a United side and play, but he looks like he could be a superstar for the future. He's got to build out a little bit, but he's been a decent player for Birmingham City this season. He's 16, and he's playing lots of games in the Championship at 16 in midfield. That is a special player. There's talk of, we've been sort of linked with him over Christmas and through till now, so for a couple of weeks now, there's talk of a £12 million deal. I tell you what, I think it would be the best £12 million we've ever spent. I think for a 16-year-old to be playing in the Championship at the age that he is, and look, I've only seen little bits of him, and he looks good on the ball, he looks like he can drive on the ball, he can make a tackle. He sort of, if he reminds me of anybody, he reminds me a bit of a Gerrard at that age. And I remember Gerrard at that age. He was quite gangly and he hadn't filled out. And look, I'm not going to say he's the next Steven Gerrard, but what if he is? And if United can get hold of a player like that, who is playing that amount of games in the Championship at the moment, look, he might end up being, the next bloody Mark Noble. He might end up being a Championship player, but he's already playing in the Championships and he's 16 years of age. Surely he's going to improve. Surely he's going to get better. So I really hope that United are all over that deal. It shouldn't have anything to do with what we're going to do with hopefully Bruno Fernandes or a CDM. This would be a player that I would buy for £12 million. And I would loan him back to Birmingham City straight away, and I might even loan him next season as well. He's 16, but you know what? You could be getting your hands on something there that is absolutely fantastic. And unlike many of the young players we've bought, who are part of our youth setup now, this is a player that is playing high level English football in the Championship at 16 years of age. So look, I think we need to be all over that deal. I hope we are all over that deal. It's not for now, and I know we need players for now, and I'm one of the big advocates of that. But that lad could be something really special, and for £12 million, get it done, loan him back. Let's see what happens in the future. That is a future signing. We need to buy other players as well. Timo Werner was a player that we were talking about a little bit going into this transfer window, because we do need a striker. Timo Werner is always the player. If anyone ever watches my FIFA career mode on Mark Goldbridge, that's football channel, I always buy Timo Werner. I just like him as a player. I think that he's creative but fast, but got a good shot on him, gets lots of goals. I think the style of player he is, he'd be a very good player in the Premier League. I think I think he would. 23 years of age as well, so he's got an element of experience, but still got a bit of growth in him. He's been talking to the media and apparently saying that he wouldn't. I think even his manager has said that they wouldn't stand in his way, and I think he is a player that's looking for a move. But again, he's a player who's looking for a move in the summer. Stability going into the Euros with Germany. Leipzig actually are in a bit of a fight for the title this season as well. I mean, Bayern will probably win it again. So not looking to move in January. And a January move is a big move for people. I accept that. It isn't the challenging transfer market people like to make it out, but it is challenging in some ways because not many players want to move because they might be like, I'll wait till the summer. I'm halfway through a season. I want to see what happens this season with the club. It's the James Maddison scenario, isn't it? James Maddison probably would like to come to Manchester United, and maybe if we get Bruno Fernandes, he's missed the boat. We don't know. But was he ever coming in January when Leicester are doing what they're doing? Probably not. It's all about timing, isn't it? And I think with Timo Werner, basically it's not the right time to sign him. It'll be the summer. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of competition for places, and he'll probably go to Bayern Munich because that's what happens with German talent. But I would love him to come to Manchester United, but obviously it isn't going to happen in January. Same with Van der Beek. It's looking like the same with Van der Beek. I spoke about this a couple of days ago, and again it's going around the media over the weekend that Van der Beek would be a signing in the summer for somebody, but not in the January transfer window. The player himself not really looking to be moving in January. And some very interesting things, just talking about strikers as well, and sticking with Germany. Obviously, Erling Haaland went to Borussia Dortmund and chose Borussia Dortmund over us. He's obviously doing his first round of interviews now as a Dortmund player, and he said that from the first meeting he had with Dortmund, they were very direct in saying that we need you up front. Big clubs were in, very big clubs were in for me, but they didn't give me that feeling. So, this reminds me of Aaron Ramsey all those years ago. United wanted Aaron Ramsey, and Arsenal wanted him, and he chose Arsenal over us. And the story was that he was more impressed by the reception and vision that Arsenal had. I mean, if you look at it, when Aaron Ramsey signed for Arsenal compared to Manchester United, he would have won more things with United, so he got it wrong. But sometimes it's about the package that is offered to you, and I think Dortmund offered him. They said, "Look, we want you to play. We want you in our team," and maybe we were a bit complacent. I don't know. You'd be speculating to. I mean, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer coached this lad, and I think there was a lot of confidence we would get him, but I think ultimately United not very good at getting players when there's competition for players these days, because we like to lower the price as much as possible, and maybe we just don't go out and directly get the player involved in the project, which is what's obviously happened with Erling Haaland. So that one's a no. I want to bring Koulibaly in as well. We have been linked to Kalidou Koulibaly a little bit over the last few weeks. Napoli have had their problems. Koulibaly, I think, was open to move in the summer, but nobody was willing to pay the money that Napoli wanted. We weren't. I think we paid £80 million on Harry Maguire. I think if you'd added 15 million onto that, you would have got Koulibaly. I would have done it, but United obviously are about money and didn't want to do it. I think Koulibaly would have been a far better signing than Maguire, because I think he's a far better player. And that's nothing against Harry Maguire. I think he's a good player, and hopefully he will become a good signing for Manchester United. But this talk of Koulibaly to United, I think it needs to end. He's now being linked with Spurs. I don't see United spending 80 million on another centre-back anytime soon. I think that we've got Maguire, we've got Lindelof, he's just been given a new contract. We've got Twansebi coming through. I don't think, as much as we might need another centre-back, I can't see us going in and spending 80 million. We know we haven't got hundreds of millions of pounds to spend. We probably need to, but we know we haven't. And I don't see that being the case with Koulibaly. So I haven't mentioned Koulibaly throughout this transfer window, really, because I think it's an absolute dead-end story, and it won't happen. But that just reminds me of something a bit topical, actually. I saw some stats about Lindelof on the weekend, and how statistically he's one of the best defenders we've got. This is where statistics can go very, very wrong. I like Lindelof, and I think in December, Lindelof was probably our best centre-back. He's been a bit dodgy in January. Is Lindelof a top 4 centre-back? I don't know. Is he a Premier League centre-back? Yes. Is he a good centre-back? Yes. Are Lindelof and Harry Maguire centre-backs that are going to win a Premier League title? I'll tell you right now, no. And you can caption that and keep it in your folder for when we do win a title. But we won't win a title with Lindelof and Maguire. They're just not that calibre of centre-back. Harry Maguire and another? Yeah, maybe. Lindelof and another? Maybe. But together, they ain't good enough. So you can pull out your stats you want. And I'll tell you what, Harry Maguire's stats in relation to aerial duels is immense, even this season. But Lindelof's stats about nobody's dribbled past him this season and all that, look, I think we can all see with our eyes that Lindelof has his vulnerabilities, and that is why some fans have been quite critical of him. I'm a fan of Lindelof, and I think he's been good, but I ain't going to start saying he's in the same category as a Van Dijk or a Laporte or anywhere near it. I think he's just a decent centre-back in the Premier League, of which there are many. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. But look, I appreciate it's all about Bruno Fernandes today. We'll certainly be going live if there's any more news on him. My final thoughts on it, I can't believe it till he's holding the shirt up. But I can give you a hint and say this. Am I more confident of this signing than I was in the summer? Yes. What did I say in the summer? It was going to happen. And that was because somebody had told me that. When I look around and the people I've spoken to this time, there's way more credibility that it's going to happen this time than there was in the summer. And I was convinced it was going to happen in the summer. I just won't do it to myself and to you and say, it's going to happen, because my fingers have been burnt on that before. And I won't believe it till the shirt's held up, because I know United can mess any deal up. Like they've just messed up the Erling Haaland deal a couple of weeks ago. So they can mess any deal up. So until he's holding the shirt, I don't believe it. But as I said, if this was a different player and it wasn't Bruno Fernandes and it didn't matter so much to me, I'd probably be saying to you now, I'm 90% sure it's going to happen. I can't see how it doesn't happen. Because it's Bruno Fernandes and because it's so important to get that player in, I just won't believe it till he holds the shirt up. Please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We will be back live today if there are any developments. I've got a feeling there will be. So I'll probably be seeing you soon. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.